All right, well, let me make our introduction of our second place finisher, Brad Keselowski, driver the number 2 Miller Lite Dodge. With his second place finish, he's establishes a career best at Texas Motor Speedway. Brad's now 7 points back of Jimmy Johnson with 2 races remaining in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Brad, a tough battle there at the end. Talk about those last laps.
Well, I mean, obviously there was, a good fight there, and Jimmy had some pretty good speed, and so did Kyle, and them two were really good. And it was, I think our 3 cars were probably the 3 cars to beat all day long. We had a run there where I felt like we got up front and had a good shot at it, and yellow came out, and then had the issue on pit road where I just got in the brakes and it couldn't get it to slow down quite as well as I needed to, and then put myself in a bad position where the 10 blocked me in, and it was probably my fault. But from there it was just a dogfight to get some track position back, and did the last pit stop and got out up front, and just fought as hard as I could to keep the lead, but just came up a little bit short there. Thought I had it until that last yellow came out, but there's nothing you can do when somebody's wrecked on the track, so I can understand that. But just a good effort. Came up a little bit short. Felt great about the speed we had. Feel like we caught a couple of bad breaks today and still put out a solid effort. So, I feel confident that if we keep putting efforts out like this, that we can win races and be tough to beat for the championship. But it was a fun day for sure. I really enjoyed this race, and I guess some people did too in the stands. I heard they were pretty excited, so that's great to know, and we'll keep fighting.
I believe we have a couple questions in the press box.
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette. You mentioned the fact how sort of the inning all sort of came back to what changed the strategy was sliding through the pits. But at the end, you had 2 fresh tires. They had 4. And it was kind of like, you held the edge one time. You held the edge the second time. By the third time, did you have the sinking feeling? Were the tires a clear difference?
Is that your question? I'm sorry, I don't know if you were keep going there.
Did the tires make a difference?
Okay, all right.
I'm saying you held the lead twice on restarts.
Sure.
With
well, I mean,
2 fresh tires.
I think the restarts made the difference. Jimmy probably would have got me with an extended amount of laps to go, but with only 5 or 6 to go, when we had the lead, I felt pretty good about it. But getting that that last yellow. I feel like restarts, I've used this analogy before, they're like rock, paper, scissors, and, eventually you're going to lose them. It's just a matter of time because there's always a strategy to counteract the strategy. So, to win 2 out of 3 is, I felt lucky to do that. But obviously I didn't win the last one that counts.
Go ahead. Let's keep up in the press box.
Nick Bromberg, Yahoo Sports. On that last restart theme, Brad, did you spin the tires in that final restart? Did you think that Jimmy beat you to the line? Because it looked like he did barely.
Yeah, I mean, every restart, I didn't have very good drive today for some reason. Every restart, I spun the tires, and it was just one of them deals, and we fought through it best we could. But, that's part of the rock, paper, scissors analogy. So we'll just fight through that, and, it's just one of them deals.
Stay up in the press box.
This is Terry Blount, ESPN.com. Brad, first of all, did you make the call there to go with just 2 tires? If so, what made you confident that would work? And second, Jimmy and Kyle have said they thought you jumped that restart after that, the last one. And then it looked like, as you said, it looks like Jimmy beat you the line on the other one. Is that just all part of the restart craziness? And did you make the call on the 2 tires?
Your first question, the 2 tires, that was something that I thought was the right way to go. And, I stopped short of saying it was my call because we were a team and we make decisions together. And Paul and I made the decision together. I might have poked him a little bit to do it, but we still made it together. And, I thought that was the right thing to do. And maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, who knows. But it was worth a shot. And your other question was, say it again. What was your second question?
Was on the last 2 restarts. First, Jimmy was howling that you jumped the restart. on the next to last one, and then on the last one, you already talked about this a little bit, him beating you to the line there.
Okay,
you said
yeah, I
it's
got
all
you
part
now.
of the
Yep.
restart.
Yeah, I think NASCAR said before that they're not going to get out a micrometer and measure that kind of stuff, and you know that's kind of the interpretation of the rules right now, and via that interpretation, I think it was probably fair play on both sides.
It's Jerry Fraley from the Dallas Morning News. One more on the last restart, if I could, please. Did you make a conscious decision not to try to take Jimmy, ride him up high on the track on that restart?
Yeah, I felt like we were just going to wreck, and I wasn't looking to be the guy that wrecked him for a lead. I didn't really enjoy the last time that happened with Kyle over here, and I don't think he did either. He might not believe that, but you know, that's just not the way you want to run a race, and not the way I want to win a championship. So that was pretty much the only choice I had, was to put ourselves both in a bad position like I did before, and felt lucky to survive that one.
Bob Packer, Sporting News. Brad, I mean, you talked about you felt kind of lucky to make it through, you know, right before that final restart. Did you feel like you raced dirty or wrong, or is that just racing for the championship?
No, I didn't feel that way. I raced hard, and I'm sure someone will say dirty. Hell, anytime you run close to certain guys, you're racing them dirty, according to some people. But I raced hard, and we both came back around, so that's something to be said for that.
And I also had a question on when you lost the 8 spots on pit road. Can you kind of talk about what happened? Did you feel you got blocked in at all, or did you just lock them up and get too far into your box?
Well, it was probably a little bit of both, and starting on my side. So, you know, I got to take the blame where blame's deserved. And I certainly felt like we could have got a little more help from the car that we were around. In that particular case, it probably wouldn't have made a significant difference, but it would have made a difference.
Jeff.
Jeff Glenn from SBNation.com. Brad, is it not a little bit disheartening to go out there and give every ounce of everything you had, and then you still lose to Jimmy? I mean, it just seems like he always seems to do this to people.
Well, it don't feel good, but there's a part of you that just feels like you're first in class. When you catch the breaks that he caught today with the yellows, and then you execute like they can, you're unbeatable. And I'm confident that we can execute at a high level. And I'm confident that the way that it's worked over the last 3 weeks, that we haven't caught good breaks or bad breaks, and he's caught several really good ones. I'm confident that that'll come back around. And when it does, we'll change these seconds and fifths or whatever they are over the last few weeks into wins. And I feel like that's bound to happen over the next 2 weeks, and that we have the team to pull it off. Excuse me. And I also feel like the way the points are right now, we still control our own destiny, which is if we win the race, we get the points lead. So that's about all you can ask for.
Nate, go ahead.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. That was sort of my question, Brad, but I guess following up on that, I mean, Jimmy's now won from the pole 2 straight weeks, maximum points 2 straight weeks. He's going to Phoenix next week, where obviously he's won, I think, 4 times. But yet you seem so undeterred with the, you know, if you said if you can run like this, you'll beat him. You know, where does that inner confidence come from? And are you just expecting that you guys are going to have to run the table here to beat him based on the way the 48 has run the last 2 weeks?
I don't expect we'll have to run the table. We'll probably need to win one of the next 2 races, but I would have said that either way. I feel like, you know, Phoenix is a whole different animal. You know, I know you want to pull the stats up where he's been so dominant, but when they repaved it last year, it's just not the same track. So, you know, I don't feel like a notebook there is really all that significant, other than the past 2 races there where we've been just as good in both races. I felt like we might have been a little bit better in the fall than he was, and he was probably just a little bit better than we were in the spring. So, you know, looking at it that way, I'd say it's probably a heads-up match going into Phoenix, and probably the same going into Homestead. We just need to win the heads-up matches, and we didn't today. That's not good, but it's not bad either. I think there's still plenty of potential to do that.